hold on to your hat, I'm back up on the ladder. Right now what I'm doing is taking measurements and squaring off tops of posts. I've got my string running across to the top of that post, and I took my measurement and cut the top of this post, which is more or less flat, perfectly fine for my tolerance level. So I'm seeing if my bubble here is between the lines. So the top of that post is pretty much level with the top of this post. Now I've got these back posts to contend with, and I'm going to use what I want for the pitch of my roof on this woodshed to determine where I'm going to cut those off. I know that the best pitch for me is actually going to match what's on the house, which is a 4 and 12. So what that means is that over the 12-foot span of this distance, the pitch of the roof is going to drop 4 feet. Now let's see what that looks like in reality, because I may change that up. All right, I've got my tape on the top there, and if I come down 4 feet, that's going to be right there, which is pretty short, honestly. Here's how I have my string secured. I actually drove a screw in right on the line that I'm referencing, and then I wrapped the string around the back of the post so I could come around here and put it at that line to measure out, go in that direction. And that way I'm not in my own way or anything like that, and I get a nice clean reference of what is level. I marked that out at 4 feet from the top, strung it across here, and now I'm getting my level to read about where I want it, which is right there. Now, I'm 5 feet tall, and this is like 3.5 feet off the ground. So honestly, I think I'm gonna have to rethink my pitch, because a cord of firewood is 4 feet tall, and I wanna get at least a cord high, at least 4 feet high, stacked in here at the back of the woodshed. So I can go 3 and 12 with a metal roof and be fine as far as leaks are concerned. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Here's my original mark. That is the 4 and 12 pitch. So I took away a foot. And again, it works out really nice in terms of the math for me right now, because this span is 12 feet. So all I have to know is the pitch that I want to come down at, and that measurement will match up quite nicely. So I've got my new mark here. I'm happier with that, especially since once I cut this, I'm actually gonna put a header on top of it. So the actual height of the ceiling inside will be about here, and then my rafters will come across the bottom and go on that way. So I'm feeling a little bit better about that. But if I've learned anything over the years, it's measure twice and then sleep on it and then cut once. So I'm gonna measure out the other corner post, again referencing from that corner, because that is already level with that, so that'll work out well. And I'm going to see what that one does, because the other part of the equation here is that while the ground here is relatively flat, it is not level. So my ceiling will actually be higher on that side than on this side. So I'll get that measurement marked out. I'll go brainstorm with William, make sure we're in agreement before I do any cutting. I've slept on it, and I have decided to go ahead and follow through with raising up my pitch measurement back here to a 3 and 12, but it's actually going to work out to be a 3.5 in 12, because along this back wall I have a middle post, which means that I'm going to have support for my header every 6 feet, which means that instead of using a 12-inch header, I can use a 6-inch header. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to be able to kind of meet in the middle there with my ceiling height and my pitch.